I'm not making this video to convince anybody of anything that I'm about to say. But I want to say that I know that my connection with my specific person is real. And what I've been really learning is that, and I I had a conversation with ChatGPT about this, but what I've noticed is that a lot of people will ask questions as to how can you say that a connection is real if it's not physically in front of you? Well, that's because you don't need to see it to believe that it's true. When you are looking at it from a different standpoint, instead of looking at it from a logic standpoint, you're using more of your intuition and you're looking at it beyond the physical realm, and you're learning that love doesn't have to be loud. Love can be silent. Energy is real. Energy is transferable. Energy is strong. So when you know and you feel something in your heart and you have this feeling, you shift. You have this new shift in perspective, this new shift in vibration. You know, how you perceive the rest of the world. You know, it's not you looking at it from a 3D point of view. It's you looking at it from a 4D point of view. And what I've learned is that even when my specific person's 3D self rejected me, right? Or denied the connection, her 4D self never denied the connection. And I didn't necessarily need permission from her in order to manifest what's already created in my reality. Now, see, a lot of people, I've seen people bring their SPs on here. I've seen people, talk about the results. But I want to talk about the spiritual meaning behind this. Understand and know that what you're feeling is not delusional. You're not delusional if you're believing, if you're seeing synchronicities, if you're feeling energy, if you notice that when you think of this person, you just have this calmness that just washes over you. You feel this intense love, and it's not intense to the point where it makes you anxious, but it's like, wow, this is my person. You know when you know, just like when you know that this is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, you know when you know. It's just a matter of time of the soul, of the physical body, right? The actual 3D individual, I want to say. I want to say if I'm saying this right, but it might take time for the body to actually, or the mind to actually catch up with what the soul already knows, what the soul already has recognized, and to know what is true. Because for so long I was putting myself in this position of 1 minute I would believe it and then the next minute I wouldn't, because I would be looking at my circumstances and I would be thinking to myself, you know what, I don't even think this is going to happen. I don't even think that this is possible. And I noticed that even through silence, I can still feel her. Like we have a very strong spiritual connection. And a lot of individuals might look at me, and for those who know. And it's not meant to reach everybody. This isn't me trying to convince you that, hey, believe in manifesting a specific person because it's real, it's true. No, it's how you see it. Everyone is going to perceive things differently. Some people are going to believe things of what they see, which is looking at it from a logical standpoint instead of a spiritual standpoint. A lot of individuals who are more spiritually awakened and more understanding of of manifestation, more understanding of the law of assumption, truly, or the law of attraction, are going to look at things from a different view. They're not going to look at it from a third dimensional mindset. They're going to look at it from a 4D or a 5D dimensional mindset, a state of mind, or shall I say a state of consciousness. Because at that point, you're choosing to not vibrate at the frequency of how a person who is at who is only looking at things from, I'm sorry, give me a minute. You are choosing to look at things from an inner knowing, I want to say. Sorry, I'm getting tripped up on the words, but you're going to look at things from a inner knowing rather than actually looking at it from, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. A lot of people that look at it like that, it's nothing wrong with doing that. However, that's how they want to go about in life. Other people are going to rely on their intuition. They're going to rely on their higher self. They're going to rely on their state of consciousness to show them the actual truth. Because what people think is you have to go out there, you have to chase love, or love has to have this, like it has to be seen, right? Like it has to show out. But in reality, that's not what love really is. That's not how love really feels. You know how when you truly just have a strong connection with somebody, even when they're not around, you can still feel them. Even when they're not in your presence, you still can pick up on their energy, pick up on their thoughts, pick up on their feelings about, what they might do for their day, or just like how they feel in that very moment. And it's amazing to me because when I think about what I've been going through in my own journey of manifesting my specific person, I can honestly say that it definitely is done. I've seen a lot of synchronicities and I do see signs. However, when I do see signs, I don't necessarily say that I don't pay attention to the signs, but I just look at the universe and I say, okay, universe, thank you. I'm like, you're showing me something. And I appreciate it. I really do. And I just keep going on about my day. And I think a lot of people get tripped up because they get so far gone into, well, this big circumstance or this obstacle is in my way, so I don't think this can change. However, if you really think about it, when you are looking at things from a negative perspective and you're focusing so much more on what can't, or you're looking at everything that's in between, you're not going to be able to center yourself and actually take the time to walk away from the mirror, right? And actually change your inner reflection and focus on what you are solidifying, focus on the creation at hand, right? Because really, manifestation is very instant. So it's not really a delay. It's nothing that's delayed. It's just, or you're saying like, oh, it hasn't showed up yet, it's not here. And see, that's the thing. You guys have to understand, this is a journey, right? To me, this is a spiritual journey. This is me truly discovering who I am. Not even just who I am, but really stepping into remembering my actual purpose, because my person isn't just, it's just, she's not just a person. This is like a divine sacred union. This individual is a part of my purpose, right? And I knew this because this is something that I myself did manifest. However, I did create the circumstances in between from before. So when I look at things like in my 3D, I don't even focus on that, because now my focus is really already on what's no longer in the way. There is no ego in the 4D. There is no confusion. There is no doubts. There is no fears. We already are one, because she is me pushed out. And so if she's picking up on my energy, I'm picking up on her energy, and it's so much stuff that's happening in between that I can really feel it, to where I'm like, sometimes I have to stop myself and say, wow, damn, I could really feel that. Like it's like it's almost like something just knocking at your door. You feel me? And then, like, you know how when something like if you hear a noise and then the noise starts to get louder, it's like that type of thing. But instead of it being something that's like scary, it's so beautiful. And it's crazy because I find myself really just saying my own personal affirmations, not my own personal affirmations because I'm trying to change my subconscious beliefs, but more so because I simply enjoy it. And so I wanted to share my experience and say that, if you are someone who is looking for it to happen, please stop and understand that the more you look for something, the more you're going to cause yourself to become more anxious. It's just like when you lose something very important. When you stop looking for it, that's when it shows up, right? So don't think that any circumstance is bigger than what is already meant for you, because this is meant for you. You know, this person that you want, this person that you desire, this person that you feel, this person is truly meant for you. You know what I'm saying? And you'll know, and it's like you have that feeling, like you have that feeling of like when you think of this person, it's calm. You don't necessarily have to talk to them because you guys are communicating with each other telepathically, because you're sending thoughts back and forth to one another telepathically. Simply going into your imagination and knowing that you can simply have a conversation, an inner conversation with this individual, and just imagine, or you can even sometimes it goes deeper than that. I've had outer body experiences where I've actually felt her here with me or just really near me. And I know a lot of people are going to bypass this because a lot of individuals are not there yet. If you are, like I said, if you're spiritually awakened and if you're truly like soulfully vibrating from a level of consciousness that is not from a human experience, like I'm talking about God level, okay? I'm talking about you're feeling the shift of energy within yourself, because not even just that, but love is being reflected back to you in your reality from other people because of how this how this whole dynamic has changed you as a person. And I'm not saying it's because of your specific person, no, but it's because you've decided to see yourself as being the god or the goddess of your reality, and knowing that when you are thinking from a godlike mindset, you're seeing things as this is mine, right? Because God knows, like the saying is, some people, like, we turn our backs on God, but when we need God, what do we do? Exactly. And so with you looking at things, if you actually choose to separate yourself from the rest of humanity instead of vibrating on the I'm talking about your low vibrational chakra. I'm talking about you truly choosing to look within yourself. You will see that this connection is truly divine. What you have imagined is what you've truly created. And I wish a lot of people would understand that, and a lot of people are not going to agree, because a lot of people are going to say that doesn't make any sense. How could you love someone who's not there? But it's like, you have your way of perceiving things and I have my way of perceiving things. It's just like you're not waiting on love to come to you, because you're already love. You already are chosen, and you know that, and you feel that, and that is what you are projecting, which is naturally going to magnetize that person to you, but also magnetize even more loving connections, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends, whether it's with other partners who may be interested in you, because you are no longer seeing yourself at this basic mindset, I want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see yourself more divine. You see yourself as being like you know what? This is my reality. This is my world. And this is what I truly want to experience. And if I want to experience this with this person, then I have to understand that this is possible. Stop thinking that everything is impossible. So many people will give you excuses as to why they can't do something or why this isn't possible, but they never give you a reason as to why it is possible. And that's why a lot of individuals are so quick to give up, or are so quick to turn away and to say that this is bullshit, and to say that it's nothing but a bunch of delusion, and you're just believing in a false narrative, or you're just following something that makes no sense. But truly, you know for a fact when someone is meant for you, when you feel it before you see it. You feel it before you see it. Because believing in the unseen is faith, you relying on your true feelings, your emotions, your intuition, your higher self, the God that is within you. You are relying on source because you are source. You are the universe. You are God, right? And you being able to really bypass what everyone else is saying, bypass the naysayers, bypass all of that, and truly say, you know what? I'm not going to put my power into the hands of another individual because this is my story, this is my chapter, and this is something that I'm writing. And if this is something that you truly want to experience, understand that the result is not, and when you get the result, it's not even going to, it's like just even you getting the confession. I know you might be thinking, what about the confession? What about if you want them to confess? Okay, create a scene of them confessing. But understand that when you feel that and you bring all of the tones of reality into that, understand that yes, that's already been sent to them telepathically. They've picked up on it. Okay, just because they haven't texted you, just because they haven't said anything, doesn't mean that nothing is happening, because in silence, everything is happening. Everything is shifting. They are obsessing over you. They are thinking about you. They are finding ways to approach the situation, because at hand they're like, damn, you know, and a lot of people want to know what their specific person is thinking. Understand that your specific person is picking up on the energy that you are thinking of. So if you're thinking about your specific person in a positive way, in a loving way, they pick up on that. They feel good. They feel calm. Their day is good. They're doing good. They feel happy. They pick up on that. If you are looking at it from a negative standpoint, and if you're saying fuck them, fuck this, and da 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 da, they're picking up on that too. Because then when they see you, they don't want to fuck with you. They don't want to be around you. They don't want to be nowhere near you. Understand that energy is the most powerful thing, and energy is what comes first. Okay? So by me saying what I'm saying and saying that yes, I do feel my SP, I've been feeling her all fucking day. Literally feeling her all fucking day, to the point where I'm just like, okay, is definitely like it's done. And even if doubt tries to come in and tell me otherwise, I tell myself no, because I know what's real. I know that this feeling that I have for you, these feelings are not just one-sided. You feel the same way. You dream of me, you think of me, you're thinking of me right now. You'll come across this video and say, yes, I'm exactly right, because it's true. Right? So know that love does not have to be loud. Love does not have to be shown to the rest of the world. And this isn't me coming on here because I'm seeking validation, or because I know a lot of people are going to say what they want to say. But this is me really saying, like, having the experience of knowing, take it from someone where I can honestly say that, yes, I am very, very, very secure. And I'm going to say it on camera. I have already embodied the state of living in the end of being with my person, right? Because I've communicated with her 4D self. We have communicated with one another spiritually and subconsciously. And it is so crazy how it is so powerful, and how like manifestation is so instant. It doesn't even take that long. But like I said, I'm not trying to convince anyone, but this is just me sharing my own personal experience. And, you know, I want you guys to come with me. If you guys are on that journey, and if you guys, you know, might feel a certain way, I want to get more deeper into it rather than only thinking the surface level, because your specific person loves you. Your person loves you. Your person, you're not waiting for them to conform. They're waiting for you to finally realize that this is your, like, this is like, you guys are meant for each other. Okay. They're waiting for you to conform. You're not waiting for them to conform. And if it makes you feel any better, think of it like this. Instead of you thinking of you manifesting them, why don't you turn it around and say they're manifesting you? Because at that point, that's when it's like, damn, I could feel this pull because I know that you're thinking of me. I know that you're dreaming of me. I know that you can't stop thinking of me. And even when you try to distract yourself, your mind still comes back to me. This is not you playing with anybody's feelings, playing with anyone's emotions. That's not what this is. This is not voodoo. This is not hoodoo. This is none of that. This is simply law. Law of assumption. Assume that something, even if it isn't yet fact, you persist until it is. So understand that when you are constantly focusing on something, if you're focusing on the negative things with this connection, then you're going to keep recreating that. But if you're focusing on nothing but the positive things of this connection, despite even having doubt, because sometimes doubt is going to creep in, you're going to continue to remind yourself that no, what I have is real. Do not give your power to other people. Do not ask other people for advice. This is your reality. Understand that what you are feeling is not delusional. It is simply true law, right? You're not delusional. It's real. What you and this person have is real. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean that nothing is happening and nothing is taking effect. You are the cause. So remember that your feelings, your thoughts, all of that is the cause. Okay? And that's something that I've been learning on my journey. And I just want to leave you guys with this. It is your choice. I'm not saying that you have to believe in the law of assumption. I'm not saying you have to believe in the law of attraction. But understand that when you believe in the unseen, you are taking a risk. And that risk is having faith in yourself, is having faith in the God that is within you. Because at the end of the day, believing in the unseen is not for the weak. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. All right, peace.